Hey yo, football fans, it's another great year. Fantasy football fiends, grab your beer. Giving you the best draft tips for all your picks. Starts and sits to the waiver wire fix. From my drafts galore to stats that's hardcore. Triple F does it all, have y'all screaming more. So sit back, relax, let the experts prevail. JT Magnum, QuiKgunZ never failed.
What is up, Fantasy Football Fiends? My name is QuiKgunZ, along with
JT Magnum.
And this week, it is studs, duds, and Papa Sans, as well as waiver wire pickers of the weeks. But first, JT with a pre-game notes over here.
Yeah, our fantasy ticker at the bottom there used to say our top players to start, our must-starts of the week, and they included a lot of players that you obviously were going to start, like an Adrian Peterson or an Aaron Rodgers or whatever. So we're not putting those players anymore because you obviously know to start them. I mean, if you have them, you start them. Those are the guys that you put in. You're gonna live and die with them regardless. And on the bottom now, you're gonna see players that you can pick up, or players that you might have on your bench, or players that you might just have in general that you normally wouldn't start, but we think you should start them this week. Those are the players that are gonna be in the bottom there. And you can, I mean, that way it's a little updated for you, and you can, figure it out that way, and hopefully we can help you out that way fantasy-wise. But for
also, don't forget, you can always use the comments section to where you can go ahead and ask a question. We'll be constantly reviewing it, and we'll help you out that way also, especially for game day.
Definitely. And for the waiver wire pickups this week, we're going to talk about our guys that we should buy and sell on. Last week we screwed it up with Eddie Royal. we said to sell him, and for some reason he proved us wrong. I think he might have watched the show and got mad. But first one of the day, we're gonna do a couple quarterbacks. First one is Alex Smith, and he's got like 4 touchdowns, no interceptions this year. He's doing decently well. He hasn't passed for a lot of yards. That's normal Alex Smith, games. So I'm gonna say sell.
And I'm still gonna say sell. He's just not a fantasy quarterback. I mean, that's just what it is at this point.
Yep. Unless you're got a quarterback that's injured and you have no other quarterbacks really to pick up, then hey, the Alex Smith will get you maybe a couple touchdowns, no interceptions, or a touchdown, no interceptions, and maybe 200 yards. So yeah, you can pick him up. But if you have a quarterback and you're fine, leave him on the free agent list. Second quarterback is EJ Manuel from the Bills. I'm gonna quickly there's really not much to say. He's kind of up and down. He had a good game last week, but I still say sell.
I'd say sell also. I think, though, if I had a choice between him and Alex Smith, I'll pick him because at least he can get you some points other ways, like running, stuff of that nature. So we will see.
Yeah, and this week we have some pickups for the running back positions. The first one's Bernard Pierce. I think Ray Rice is a little banged up.
He is banged up. I'm going to go ahead and say pick him up, though. I think what we're starting to see with Ray Rice and Arian Foster and a lot of these running backs have been running hard the last couple of years is that they look like they're going to need to be spelled a lot. And these guys are going to be coming in and possibly take some touchdowns. Like it looks like Bernard Pierce is going to be a red zone vulture back. So that would be the worth it, in my opinion. He is going to go this week, Ray Rice, so maybe not a must start or anything of that nature, but certainly somebody to handcuff if you have Ray Rice.
Yeah, I'm gonna say maybe pick him up, put him on your bench if you have a deep league, if you have a deep bench. If not, leave him on the free agent list unless you see Ray Rice. You feel Ray Rice might get injured and you might use Bernard Pierce in that option. Then at least you already have him. If you have a good enough bench or a bad enough bench where you can lose a player, then yeah, pick him up. But the next guy is Darrell Scott from the Giants. He scored a couple touchdowns last week, or I think a touchdown last week. He had a pretty good yardage game. He had a pretty good game overall. And I think I'm gonna say sell because they still have Brandon Jacobs now coming along, and they still seem like they're gonna be sold on David Wilson.
David Wilson has all the upside to be a great back. He just needs to work on a couple issues. Mainly now it looks like mentally. I'll say sell also. I just don't think Scott's going to be a solution long term.
Steven Jackson is not playing this week. Therefore, Jacquizz Rodgers is going to be a very sought-after pickup this week. And they're going against the Miami defense. So this week I will say sell.
I would say sell also. It looks like we probably would have sat Jackson on the bench anyways this week. Told you to sit him. So You're not really gaining anything by playing him unless you really need a running back. Who knows what he could do in the passing game, because obviously that's going to be a factor also, especially with the Rodgers. And in our points per reception league, I say go ahead. It's worth it, especially since he is going to start. But that just depends on what else your team has.
Next guy on the list is James Starks. Had a great game when Eddie Lacy went down. He actually rushed for 100 yards, first Packer to do so in a long time since himself a few years back against the same team, actually, the Redskins. But he's going up against the Cincinnati team, but I will say pick him up because James Starks has always been a decent back for the Packers. He knows that offense. He's been on the Packers for forever. And he looks like he got some of explosiveness back, and I say pick him up. If you need a running back, pick him up.
Exact same thing like how with the Rodgers, especially in a points reception league. I know he did rush a lot in this last game. This game is gonna be a little bit tougher, but they can use him still. Screen passes, things of the nature.
Exactly.
Must start, in my opinion, pick up. Yes.
Yep. Next guy, we're going to go into wide receivers, and Eddie Royal, the guy who proved us wrong last week. I'm going to say pick him up. Malcolm Floyd got hurt.
He is a must pick up.
Yep, Malcolm Floyd was hurt.
Floyd is done.
Yep, and now they're really going to utilize him, and they seem to really love him, so I say pick him up now. He proved me wrong.
And I kind of wish we said buy him last week, because obviously if you would have started him, you would have had a lot of touchdowns.
Yep. So we apologize. Next guy is DeAndre Hopkins from the Houston Texans. He had a great game last week, especially when Andre Johnson went down. And I'm going to say again, if you need wide receivers, pick him up. This guy looks like a stud.
He does. He looked great. He got those game-winning, the game-tying, or what led to the game-tying touchdown. The drive, the previous play. I mean, he looked like an Andre Johnson light. So definitely worth a pickup, especially since the team has been looking for a second wide receiver. Looks like they found one.
Next one is Marlon Brown from the Ravens. Had a great game last week, 100 yards and a touchdown. He's another guy, I will say. If you can't get Eddie Roy, you can't get DeAndre Hopkins, pick up Marlon Brown. That's the next guy on your list. You should have those 1, 2, 3 on your waiver wire list. That way you can at least get one of them because you know they're going to be picked up this week.
I agree 100%. I mean, the thing is, this is a passing league, and we're starting to see, and we predicted this when we did our draft show. It's going to be a lot of wide receivers available, and this is just proving that point.
Yep. Next, we're going to do tight ends, and that's Delaney Walker first off, and he had a touchdown last week in a pretty decent game for the Tennessee Titans. He seems like he's coming into his own with Jake Locker. They're starting to utilize him more. I say right now, if you need a tight end badly, pick him up. If not, leave him on the free agent list. So I'm going to say sell for now.
I'm going to say sell just because I would think at this point everybody should have a decent tight end. Even the guys you didn't think were decent, Julius Thomas, Cook, let's say Martellus Bennett. These are all guys that are already proving that they could be just as good as some of these number ones like a Witten and all that game to game. So I'm going to say sell. You don't need them.
Next, Charles Clay from the Miami Dolphins. Had a great game, actually, rushing and catching. I'm going to say, once again, if you have a good tight end, pick him up. Or don't pick him up. But I don't think, unless you need one for this week or something, then pick him up. But if not, still, for me, it's going to be sell.
Yeah, it's just sell. That was a great game. He did have an awesome game. It's one of those things where you wish you look back and like, man, look at this guy. What did he do? How come my guys didn't do this? But in the end, that's going to be probably a one thing in Miami. They're still going to be running the ball. They're still going to be throwing the ball to Mike Wallace and Hartline, not him.
Now we're going to go into some quick defenses. First one's Minnesota Vikings. I say buy this week, but after that, sell because they're playing Cleveland this week, and Cleveland's without their quarterback. So
definitely third-string quarterback. You got to go with the Vikings. This is a probably one of the, if you have to have, let's say you have a defense that you're not sure of, like Pittsburgh or a Baltimore playing against Houston, and you really want to get points and you have an opportunity, Vikings would be a good defense to start.
Yep. Next one's going to be the Chiefs, and who are the Chiefs playing this week?
Philadelphia.
The Giants. No, not the Giants. Philadelphia. Yeah, I would say sell in a heartbeat because Philadelphia is going to score some points.
Pick them up.
I mean, Chiefs have shut down some offenses, but I still say sell until they prove me wrong. And then we're going to go to Jets and the Bills, who are both playing each other. Now, I feel that this is going to be a low-scoring game, so if you need a defense for this week, I say pick one of these two teams up. Me, preferably, I'd take the Bills. They just seem to get more sacks, and they seem to get more turnovers, but the Jets have been good at just stopping at points. So we'll see. Jets are at home, so that might give them a little bit more of a leeway, but I'd say take the Bills on this one.
Flip a coin. It's going to be either or. I mean, I can't even tell who might win the game. I mean, I think the Jets will probably win by a field goal, and the game might even be 9-6.
Yeah. All right, now we're getting into our studs, duds, and Papa San sleeper of the week. And Siggy, who's your stud this week?
Stud of the week, Anquan Bolden is going to be my stud of the week. They're playing against a very, it is an okay defense in Indianapolis, but they tend to give up big plays, especially on the wide receivers section, especially Mike Wallace coming off a big game. I think Kaepernick has to prove himself, or he will prove himself, that he is still worthy of being a number one quarterback. And they're going to, I mean, Bolden had only, one catch? That's not going to happen. I expect a big bounce back this week.
My stud is actually from the same team. I'm going with Frank Gore. He has not played well this season yet. He's had tough games against Green Bay and Seattle running the ball, and I think he's going to be angry running this week against Indianapolis. I actually feel bad for them. I think he's going to run all over them this week. So that's my stud of the week. Now for your dud, who's going to suck it up this week? Ray Rice.
What's that?
Why you say that?
Ray Rice. All right, he's banged up. They did say he's going to play. I just think that, one, they're playing against Houston's defense. Houston likes to pick on Baltimore, it seems, when they play each other, especially over the last couple of years. Ray Rice has just not been the same. This hip thing is not going to help, and I just don't see anything from him this week.
Yeah, my dud of the week is going to go to Maurice Jones-Drew. They're playing Seattle, and they're going to have a difficult time running on that team. I mean, San Fran Carolina had a little bit of hard time running on them. I just think that Jacksonville just doesn't have the offensive capability to do anything against that defense, especially in Seattle.
No, I agree.
So for their Papa San sleeper, who you got?
No Sean Moreno. We didn't even talk about him on the waiver wire pickup. This is a guy that came out of nowhere with the 2 touchdowns against the Giants. He was their backup to start the game, and it looks like he might have solidified, at least for this week, a starting nod, and he has a good matchup against the Oakland Raiders. So I expect them to continue to use him, whether it'll be at the goal line or in the passing game.
Yeah, my Papa San sleeper is going to go to Trent Richardson from the Browns. They have no offense, they have no quarterback, and they are going to be running the ball to Trent Richardson almost every play. It seems like. I mean, I would ride him until he, whatever I can get, screen passes, whatever I can get. So we're going to see a lot of Trent Richardson this week. So I say put him in, see how many yards he gets you.
I agree.
All right, that does it for the studs, duds, and Papa San sleepers and all our waiver wire picks. Feel free to leave comments in the comment section. I've been trying my hardest, along with Siggy, to respond to every comment that we can and try to give you the best advice that we can. If you feel that you have some better studs, duds, or Papa San sleepers, feel free to put those in the comments. Let us know. We'd love to hear comments and feedback from everybody. So that's going to be a wrap.
Well, before we go, we do have our pick'em show that comes on Saturday, but we don't get to pick the Thursday game, so we'll do the opportunity here. Who you got, Philadelphia or Kansas City?
Philadelphia or Kansas City? I'm gonna go with Philly.
I'm gonna go Philly also. So there you go. Now it's a wrap.
Oh, one more thing. QuiKgunZ has a streaming. What does he do? A pick'em stream?
Yes, he does. A live stream. He does it on Wednesday night.
And where does he do that at?
The website is QuiKgunZ, YouTube/QuiKgunZ.
He streams from YouTube?
Yes.
Okay. The link will be in the description. You'll see the link in the description, and I'll show it on the front page here. So you'll be able to go to there and check him out tonight at 9 p.m. I believe he starts. I think that's Eastern
9 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time, is it?
Yes, I believe it is Eastern Standard Time, and also if follow us on Twitter, we'll also tweet it out.
Okay, there you go. So for Fantasy Football Fiends, JT Magnum and Siggy Guns, we're out. Peace.
Peace.